It is 7:44 here on your Friday morning wake-up call, so now it's time for Friday with the Fuzz, and I'll hand it over to Mr. Michael Green.
Derek, thank you very much. In studio with us this Friday is Elgin's Chief of Police, Jeff Swoboda. How are you?
Fantastic. How are you?
Good.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Big weekend. I know you're a big-time Cubs fan.
Yes, a lot of stuff going on.
So we've got 2 games, right? And Bears game on Sunday. You've got a lot of things going on in terms of things tomorrow, right? Security through surveillance, which we'll get to in a minute.
A lot of stuff going on this entire weekend.
We'll kind of get to some of that stuff. Sad story about a fatal accident that took place downtown area right here, right? Chicago and Center, if I remember correctly, on Wednesday. I don't know if there's really much to talk about. Can you tell us what you know about the motorcycle accident?
Yeah, our traffic division's still working through all of how it all went about, but the end result, unfortunately, was a lone motorcycle rider was killed when hit a bus, and so it backed up traffic. Obviously, we had the intersection closed for a while as we investigated. When we've talked a lot about how we do our investigations, there's a lot that goes into it. We're making sure we have everything, the entire scene documented very well. Any witnesses, any video that we may be around. So our traffic division's still doing all of that stuff, but and we don't have it, so I don't want to give anything out. I know I think it was an 18-year-old. Arrangements are, you should say, online now.
I thought I saw something this morning that said funeral arrangements for that incident, but I know you said in the past you guys don't really, it's not your point. You don't release names and stuff. That's not in a death investigation like this. So I don't want to get into it because I haven't seen an official release. I don't know who it was, but very sad. The only thing I thought when I saw that it involved a U-46 school bus was, oh my goodness, with their kids on the bus too, like that
would have
seen this, and thankfully no. I mean, so
that, and probably another point too, because I think Christy was dealing with this as well with pictures being sent in. We take the pictures that we need, and they're used for evidence and for the case. But any pictures that ever come in, or people who show up at crash scenes and want to get the first picture and get it online for other reasons, it's our website or our Facebook page definitely isn't a place where that is allowed, and so we have to be very careful and we make sure we go through there. Christy does, and delete those as quick as we can. And sometimes we get accused of censoring things, and it's being a human being and making sure that family doesn't see something so tragic on a Facebook page before they've had a chance to see something. So I think most people get it. There's a few who don't understand that, but most people do. So sad, and obviously the lessons are just what the lessons are after every crash, and so we don't even.
Not to the extent, but to that point, there was a car accident late last year, on the way to Huntley High School, and my son used to get rides to school, and thought it was him, that he might have been involved at first, whatever. He was pretty quick to text and say he was okay, he wasn't involved, but we knew one of the boys that was involved, and it wasn't a fatal accident, but it was a pretty severe crash that they took a couple of the boys by ambulance to the hospital. The mother of the driver, one of the boys that was taken by ambulance, did find out through Facebook.
Yeah.
And it was all, she hated it. I mean, I should not have to find out this,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's priority number one. Once we have something like this happen, as far as finding out who the person is, and the press is doing their job. They understand that as well, and they'll ask us, when we do know, are we going to release it? And a lot of times we'll just deal with the family, who many times there's extended family. You might be able to get in touch with a grandson or a brother, but you're not be able to get in touch. Parents are on vacation, and so sometimes it takes days. And so, we'll get the routine. Are you guys going to release this? Are you going to? Many times we'll refer people, unfortunately, to the coroner if it has to go that way.
Right.
And then we'll just talk with the family, and if they don't want information released, we won't release it.
There was, I guess, a pretty big buzz going on yesterday around the area. Kind of something buzzing in the area with helicopters. Can you tell us? Can you tell us what the police are doing now with helicopters over the city?
I can tell you, we have no idea what's going on with helicopters.
Come on.
We know when it's us, and we know when it's other people like us, other officers, or obviously hospitals use helicopters all the time. We know that there are helicopters being used to hang the lines along out there, not along Randall, but across Randall and then all the way down on the west side of town. But we found out as well because people were asking us, so did some research.
Social media.
What's going on with the helicopters.
Notified you that
Right.
something was going on with helicopters.
We don't always respond to a lot of those because we respond to every question. I mean, at some point, you know,
Right.
Christy does fall asleep. And so when there are questions that come out, believe it or not, I think, but it's not for long.
I didn't know that.
And so when people are asking about the helicopters, sometimes we let it wait, but then we'll also get, you know, why is the squad car here? Why is the squad car there? And so all of a sudden, you know, people are just, there's a lot of questions out there. And
Right.
they're well-intentioned. People might just want to know, but sometimes we're able to answer it, especially
There's
quickly.
4 squad cars in my neighborhood and an ambulance, and it's a block down, or it's down the street on my same street. I kind of want to know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I also know that it's not happening at my house, and it's probably
Right.
really none of my business. And if it was some of my business, or it needs to be, somebody would come by and tell me.
And if
You
it's a
need
bigger
to
thing, there'll be a press
leave the
release.
area, you know, or-
that.
Yeah.
And also crimereports.com. We refer people to crimereports.com to make sure that, you know, they can get the information as far as what's going on. If it's a traffic stop, if it's, you know, whatever's going on over there. It goes on crimereports.com. Now, that's not always the case. You know, we do, you know, people, if somebody's having a family problem and, you know, somebody try to take their own life or do something like that, it's not everybody's business. And so people will say, no, that is wish I could know what you guys were doing in there. I want to know. And it's, no, we're not going to tell you. And the family's dealing with something
It's
right now.
delicate sometimes, though, isn't it? I mean,
What's that?
Is there ever a question like, should we release this? Should we? How much thought goes into it? And has there ever been times when you couldn't decide what to do?
No, crime reports.
Pretty clear?
Yeah,
Black and white?
for us, you know, the ongoing drug investigations, suicide, and is there another one? Crime reports, and that, you know, that was one actually we had recently where there was a juvenile problem that was going on with a family, and so there were a couple cars that were there, and so people were wondering what was going on, but those won't go on. crimereports.com. But other than that, people can refer to crimereports.com. It gets updated every hour. Now, that doesn't mean, you know, from the hour that we're out there, because it might be an ongoing investigation that's
Right.
still figuring out what we're even calling it. You know, we show up on some scenes and we don't even know what the title of the report's going to be for a little while, as we're working through multiple cases, whether it's domestic violence, whether it was a battery, all kinds of things going on. So that's where we refer people to. And it's been a fantastic tool. It's probably one of the best tools that we've been having is crimereports.com. So we refer people to there. If it's a big enough issue where it makes it to a press release, where we're actually going to take even more time and write something up and put it out, that's more for the bigger cases. You know, somebody shot, a major arrest. That's when we're kind of doing the bigger press releases. So there is, you know, a lot of times a discussion that goes on. You know, we had one recently where there's discussion, 2 juveniles got in a fight, but it was out in the roadway, I think it was, or something. So it turned out it could have been an aggravated battery, but we ultimately, it was 2 kids fighting in the road, and there was no danger to anybody else. And with kids, we can't release their names anyway. So
guns,
yeah, we were going to say, you know, 2 14-year-olds were rolling around in the street, and that's why all the cars were there. And it's kind of a...
Well, then somebody could criticize you for putting that information out and taking that much time to do that.
Sure. In this day and age, you can criticize.
Right? I mean, that's
you
what
can
I'm
criticize
saying.
me or the police department for anything. And
that's unfortunately probably what happens.
Seldom decisions that we make. I always tell people decisions we make, or especially as you go up the police department. You know, if you say from the police chief standpoint, there are very few, you know, absolutes, right? I mean, most of the decisions being made a lot of times are 60. I call them 60-40s, 51-49. I can see both sides of this story, or I can see, you know, why we should release it, why we shouldn't release it, and their judgment calls. And so people can sit back and Monday morning quarterback, and that's cool with me. I've got,
and that's what's going to make an effective leader, being able to kind of see both sides of it. I mean, if you only ever saw one side of everything,
I can play devil's advocate with the best of them, and see the contrarian point of view on pretty much any topic. Maybe not every topic, but most topics. And so they'll always be there. And you know, social media is a great place where it can be kind of the magnet for individuals who think alike on certain topics, as crazy as that topic might be. It's a great place for people to feel, you know, let's come together, you know, become relevant at some level.
I don't even know what you just said that sparked this. Did you see this? There's a new app called Periscope.
I heard about it because of the baseball games.
Did you see the girl that was periscoping while she was driving drunk?
She got arrested, right? Was it that one? Yeah.
And it was down in Florida or something. Is that all part of it? I mean, the way these apps come out and the way things are developed and how quickly technology changes, is there one officer, a department of officers? How many people kind of... And how do you learn about these things? Word of mouth? You know?
Yeah, I mean, well,
crazy.
everything. I mean, we've got people who
I've
are
never
very
heard of
well
Periscope
read.
until this week.
So I guess for the listeners, my understanding is Periscope is you can live video,
And people can just
straight to the
text
internet,
in and
right?
stuff.
And so what was going on is at baseball games, people can start periscoping from their seat, and they were saying whether or not Major League Baseball or NFL can actually do anything about it, and apparently they can't. So that's one right. So live video feed now from wherever you're at to broadcast it to, and so you basically become a live TV station for everyone else. So our officers are very well read. They hear things, just like anybody else, on the news, and we'll talk about something with financial crime down the road too. I saw this new thing that I think Yahoo's starting it with getting rid of passwords that they're going to start. It's actually before you log on to your account, they'll actually you have to have a smartphone. They'll send you are you logging on? Are you trying to log on? And if you click yes, then it lets you on your own computer. So it's a double check. So it hits your smartphone at the same time anybody's logging on to any bank accounts, anything. So that just reading an article that talking about passwords
the story with the
pass here
the fire
soon.
chief?
So which would be nice because. I don't know about you, but I think I've got like 27 different passwords, and I forget them. And I try to keep them all in sync, and it lasts for about a day or two until one of them makes me change one. And then,
I think one of my favorites is the people that write down their passwords on a post-it note and tap it, put it on their computer monitor.
And the battery.
Anyway, you've got a couple things going on this weekend.
Yes, we do.
I know you're, the community conversation you do, the Chiefs meeting and stuff like that, but taking it to another level again, right? You're kind of expanding that, the community conversation.
Okay.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, we're doing one next Sunday at St. Mary's, and other community conversations we're going to do mainly in Spanish. And so as we're reaching out, we're obviously trying to talk to every single Elgin resident that we can and find out what's going on. And it's a two-way street that we want to tell them what we're doing and all the things that are going on in their neighborhood and ways that they can get involved. But then also we want to hear from them. What are they seeing? What are the issues that they're experiencing? And ways that we can then help them solve their problems that are going on. So it's just another continuing as part of our program that continues to develop, where we're pushing out on these community conversations, whether it's Coffee with a Cop or community conversations. And it's been very successful over this year. We've had 4 large ones. And those were the ones that were all held at ECC and Second Baptist Church. And then now we're doing this one at St. Mary's. And this is in addition to, I was at a neighborhood meeting last week, and Anna was there doing a presentation on our body cameras. But great turnout. Carl Maselli had it out there. The mayor was out doing his State of the City address. But a lot of great information exchange there. And so those are the types and places where we have a lot of exchange between residents and us that doesn't make the paper. We don't broadcast that much. Just probably, maybe not every night of the week, but probably 2 nights of the week, there's a neighborhood meeting going on in Elgin where an officer is telling some of the issues that are going on. So this is just another one. This will be larger and just trying to hit people maybe don't speak English.
Derek took a phone call.
Oh, you did?
We had a question, just a question, like general question. It was about one of the stories that you had, and kind of a question for you. It was regarding the homeless man that sprayed lighter fluid on somebody, and how the charge changed from attempted murder to assault.
I think according to the story, and I don't even know if you know anything about this. According to the story, that the penalties were more severe for the one type of crime than for an attempted type of crime.
Okay, so
it was the state's attorney who there decided that was the charges that they were going to pursue.
And the question was, why is the charges more heavy than attempted murder, let's say? Because that's whether it was attempted murder and assault.
I don't have the charges in front of me.
Yeah, so I think the attempted murder was even less charges than the actual...
Yeah, without I don't know.
Yeah.
I can do a little research, and next week we can talk about it.
Just was curious to see why there's different...
Not sure. And charging can be confusing. I know sometimes we talked before where one incident with one person can result in
14
dozen
charges.
Because the statute's written where a different way. If you do it out on the street and you do it in a heinous way, and there's a lot of times that charges can be brought up, so they can be confusing. So it's might be more of a legal type question than just more where it might not even make sense to a person, but legally it does. If that
it doesn't make sense to a person. It's just a computer. Robots. It makes sense to robots.
The box says you have to press here, so you check that box.
It's kind of like that sometimes, right? Like just kind of follow the checklist, right?
Maybe in your world, not in mine.
Boys and Girls Club.
Yes.
I know you are very involved with them. You were I think you served, right?
Board
on
member for a while. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you got a little something going on there. Can you talk about that?
I certainly can. I'm excited. Tonight is their Boys and Girls Club annual dinner. So I'll be attending there tonight, and just want to give them a shout out because the Boys and Girls Club is just one of those places in town. There's many, but it's a place near and dear to my heart just with all the work that's going on with kids. And we talked about at the council meeting, I kind of just mentioned it with something else we're talking about with the crop walk in a moment. But just with the Boys and Girls Club, it's the work that they're doing is just making such a difference. I've seen it firsthand, and if it wasn't for the Boys and Girls Club, there'd be a lot more problems in Elgin. I can say that from serving on the board to being the police chief, that they are just an amazing group of dedicated people. Their board is awesome. But then tonight at the dinner, it's going to be a packed house and raising a lot of money for the Boys and Girls Club, and the kids definitely appreciate it. In that facility that they have over there, like I said, I have no problems at all saying that the Boys and Girls Club saves lives because of what they do on a daily basis, and as they talk about preparing leaders for tomorrow, and that's what we need. We can talk all we want about making arrests today and putting people in jail and what are the charges, but when we're really going to be successful is when we have kids make the right decisions and stay out of trouble. I think that's the ultimate goal there. So just a quick shout out to the Boys and Girls Club, who just one of my favorite places in town.
Not that it matters, I agree though.
Yeah, I don't know how you don't agree. It's tough to not agree with
you mentioned
Boys
the crop walk. What's that? You guys going to go walk for marijuana?
Wow. No, walking for food.
Oh.
Walking for food, and
so you're going to try to find some crops.
No, we are. Crop Walk is about ending hunger and ending hunger worldwide. And I just got into it, so I may even misspeak a little bit. But I was asked to be their honorary chairperson for, I think it's honorary walk leader, which is this Sunday, and it's kicking off. We're gonna get a hat, I think.
Sorry.
And so we're going to be kicking off this, we're going to be putting something on Facebook. So follow us on Facebook, or Crop Walk actually has their own Facebook page, but they're inviting everyone to come down. It's a great cause. I was so surprised to hear that over the past, Elgin's been doing it for about the past 30 years. I think she said 33 years. We'll put the video online later. But just in Elgin, it raised over $500,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and 25% of all the money stays in Elgin. It goes to all the food banks and helps do those, but then also some of it goes to other areas as part of this, because this crop walk is kind of a worldwide thing, I think. So I just got involved with it. I'm excited. I like to walk, and I like to end hunger, so I figured if we combine two things at the same time and do it on a nice Sunday afternoon, it's going to be fun.
You've got a class tomorrow, security through surveillance. Is that filled up, or
it is not?
People still? Anybody show up? Anybody with?
We ask you to sign up beforehand, but if you can't and you come in, I think you could probably just stop by. But starts at 9 o'clock, and it's here at the police station, 9 o'clock a.m., security through surveillance, and we've talked about that a million times. It's just a great program. Jim Bisegli runs it, and with his technical investigations unit, come on out and learn if you're thinking about video surveillance. And I just saw somebody at the council meeting the other day. She was putting up, I think, 10 cameras around her house. I was like, all right. Yeah, she's really going out. But if you just want to put up one, no, it's not. If you just want to put up one and see who's at your front door when you're off at work. I know some people, they want to see what's going on in their backyard in the middle of the night, so they put up an infrareds because they see footprints sometimes, or animal prints or whatever. So asking people if they want to come and learn about video surveillance, and that sounds like such a harsh word, surveillance, but sometimes it's just, I want to know what's going on around my house when I'm not there. And so put up a video camera, and you can remotely now watch them so easy, and Jim Bisegli and his team can explain it for anyone to understand and help people make good decisions.
And I know you said it before. I mean, it's one thing to put up a camera, but to put it up in an effective location, pointed in the right way, to where it's actually going to be a benefit to you if you do get something on the video, or if something happens, that's huge. And I think that's something that you might just take for granted if you really didn't know about it. But we both worked in retail loss prevention back in the day, and you know how important camera locations are and placements. It's just
absolutely.
I can't see anything there. I can't see that person's hands. Well, you got to let them walk. So
that, and a lot of times too, especially as people are looking at them for their houses, they'll put them right above their front door. Well, sometimes they'll put it up almost where the light is, so it's looking straight down.
Straight on top of their head.
You have no idea how tall the person is, if they're wearing a hat, exactly. So, just a very simple tip that we talk about too, and they talk about in the class. You want it around face level if you can at an entry point, but you put something on the wall there. So when people are walking in, it almost forces them to look at it. So it can be, ring doorbell here, because people are going to look at that doorbell. Now you got a great shot right at their face. So just kind of little tips for people. So it's not all about business owners. It's not all about homeowners. It's anybody that wants to learn more about video surveillance and how to hook up a video camera. That's where they can do it.
I don't remember what the situation was, but I remember you guys posted up on Facebook one day, like a help us find this person thing, and it was almost too good of a shot to be true. Like where the person kind of looked up and to the right into the camera. And you posted that picture of like help us find this person. I was like, man, why did the guy look at that? He had to know there were cameras. Like he's just walking your face.
A shiny object up there or something. Yeah. So it's a great class. It helps. I mean, we've been solving a lot of cases with video. I mean, a lot. This technical investigations unit that's only been up and running for about a year now. I mean, it's awesome.
So you're saying Pasegli needs a raise?
He probably does, but he won't get it.
Sorry, Jim, I tried.
Yeah, he tried. But actually, he might be here next week. So
that's what I hear.
Give Christy a day off.
Enough now, that's why.
There you go.
See?
There you go.
That's how that works. All right, Elgin's Chief of Police, Jeff Svoboda, thank you very much, and we'll try to find out some information on those charges and why or what, and maybe not necessarily in that case necessarily, but
in general.
Just general kind of speaking, because I know you won't want to talk about somebody else. The police department, or
however they chose to charge it. Right.
Somebody talking about your.
Yeah, until you know the facts, don't.
Right.
I like to say if you have facts, then talk. But sometimes people like to talk without facts. So I'm going to like to talk with facts.
Yes.
And keep the ideas coming for Halloween costumes, right? We're going to keep talking about that.
We're accepting all sorts of ideas for Halloween costumes here.
Yeah, but you're doing it tomorrow. That's not going to help us much.
Next 24 hours.
We need ideas.
Email to Derek Cooley at WRMN.com.
Yes, 1410. Don't forget 1410.
Steve Thorne, maybe.
Yes, or Steve Thorne.
Why don't you go with Steve Thorne?
Hey, buddy.
Happy Friday.
All right. Have a great weekend, Jeff.
Thanks,
you.
guys.
All right, you're listening to AM 1410 WRMN.
And Elgin.